Hello and welcome back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 and the strange journey of the Baltimore Beeholes. As we're deep into the off season, gearing up to play the 2028 season, which will be our fourth season in control of the Beeholes. We just signed Isaac Paredes, and he's going to take a 4-year, $50 million deal that's a little bit front-loaded, and we've got a team option on the last year. So I'm really happy with this deal, and hopefully that power and eye and avoid Ks, hopefully he's going to be making a lot of good contact with the ball. So we will see, but we do need to upgrade at first base, and this was the most logical choice out there. I have also made some offers to our younger players. I like 3 of them. I hate the Ricky Tiedemann offer. I'm thinking about withdrawing it. He's going into ARB for about $3 million next year for his first year of ARB, and that's already kind of a little bit on the expensive side. I think it's kind of rating him as a starter, which he's not necessarily. He can start for us, but he's not good enough to make our rotation. $4.8 million per year to keep him around on AAV. It's a tough one. Jonah Tong, on the other hand, 7 years with an average salary of $7.2 million. He hasn't thrown a pitch for us yet, but I do have to believe in the ratings, so we're going with it. Best deal here is Troy Taylor. If you see a reliever who's ready for the majors with a profile like this, you sign him absolutely as soon as you can. And he signed 5 years, $2.6 million per year. Perfect. And a super utility guy of our future, Merrick Houston. And, potential third base or shortstop starter one day. He hasn't been hitting the ball very well in the major leagues. It's okay. A 230 average is that's not the worst for a shortstop, for a defense first guy. So $4 million a year for his services. And I think that contract, if I remember right, the details on that, I am kind of starting off with a lower salary and increasing to $6 million in the last few years of it. It's now January 15th, and we're just about to start signing the international amateur free agents. Quick note, $30 million per year contract for closer Joan Duran, and that's a lot of money. For the international amateurs, these are the players that I'm considering. Catcher Dave Martinez, who my scout has sort of downgraded a little bit. I think maybe his catcher rating went down a little. I can't really tell if anything's gone wrong with the bat. That's still a good major league bat and a great defensive catcher. He's already got a star of development. He's got that power developing first. I like to see a power first development out of a young player. But here's the other option. And this is another 17-year-old who's already 1.5 stars of development. And that's going to be the difference maker. He is simply the very best player available. He is also a guy who can play for my team. So we can either trade him out for great value, or we can hold on to him if, God forbid, this sim goes another 6 years without the Beeholes winning. So, as unfortunate as it is to have to say goodbye to a real diamond in the rough here, catching prospects with bad personalities are just, they're almost impossible to find. And we are going to bite the bullet. And poor us, we have to pick an outfielder who might be, one of the greatest hitters in the league when he develops. So let's go ahead and offer him this contract. He wants 3.8. We're going to offer him the full 4.75 that we have available. Now, there are teams who can offer 5.7, so he's probably going to get taken from us. So if that does happen, our backup choices could be like Danny Escobar with a good 3-pitch mix, but I do like my pitchers to have 4 pitches if they're young like that. Luis Espinoza, perfectly decent left fielder, maybe right fielder. I don't think Medina, no, he's got that bad contact and stuff and avoid Ks I don't like. And then Tony Ramirez, same story with him. And then Alex Flores was just okay. So yes, it's going to come down to will Manny Limo accept our offer? If he doesn't, then Dave Martinez will fill the role nicely. He wants 3.6, so hopefully his price doesn't go up in the meantime. And as we await the news on Manny Limo's decision, the international free agents are getting paid this year. So Hiromoto Nomura, the awesome outfielder, is going to be making from $33 to $46 million over a 4-year contract. I guess that's not insane. It's, it's a lot of money, but I guess somewhat reasonable. And then closer Edwin Ehlers is going to be making $29.6 a year, and they're even giving him the option in his age 34 season. So, international talent, very expensive this year. The Athletics complete relocation. Okay, they've settled into their new home in Las Vegas. And does that mean... Hold on. Does that mean they're already showing up like that? Let's see. Yeah, the Las Vegas Athletics. Okay. All right, so they're keeping everything looking the same. Let's check out the ballpark. Is that right? They went for the very most vanilla ballpark humanly possible. Wait, average wind. No, something might be messed up there with the park factors. We'll have to see if there's something we can do about that. But good that they're finally finding a home. And it wouldn't be the worst thing to have a park that's completely neutral in the game. So that might be interesting. Also in budget news, our owner has turned loose an additional $10 million to us. So that is going to allow us to go ahead and max out that player development budget. And what the heck, might as well do the scouting budget. I don't think we're going to need much money this year. And then we'll bump this up while I'm thinking about it to 9.5. So it'll leave us $1 million kicking around in case maybe a player shows up in one of the independent leagues that we want to snag. But yeah, having that extra money will be great for development. Very happy to see it. January 19th, lots of news. Manny Limo did sign with us. So I'm going to throw him... Let's see what his ratings are relative to like Carolina League. Okay, so we still want him in development. Are we Florida Complex? I think so. In either case, he doesn't need to go to the Dominican. He can come straight up to our regular rookie ball team. Albert Pujols, Robinson Cano, Yadi Molina, and Alex Rodriguez all get into the Hall of Fame. Very cool. Andy Pettitte drops. And no one super impactful here. Good to see Mark Burley still hanging around. A little odd to see Felix Hernandez still at only 12.9%. Hopefully that picks up for him. And Buster Posey looks well on his way, as does Ryan Braun. I thought I could take a minute and show you guys how I sort through my minors each year. Basically, I'm going to use the relative ratings, and I'm not going to pay as much attention to the stats, although I may use stats as a tiebreaker. And I'm going to sort overall. Okay. So everybody who is 2.5 stars in the International League is going to move up to the International League. Everybody who is less than 2.5 stars is going to move down. And I've got a lot of high A players that thinks are ready for AAA, which is kind of interesting. So what we'll do is kind of resort them. If we already got 44 players in there, which obviously that's not going to work. So we will move down some of those later. But this is just like the initial sort. So we're in the Eastern League. And I'm going to pull out everybody. So a lot of these guys are not going to be able to go back to A-ball, presumably, due to age restrictions. Okay, they all made it. Age and service time restrictions. And then everybody who's ready for AA. And that is going to be a lot of guys. Okay. Do the same thing for High A, South Atlantic League. And sort overall. There sure are a lot of them. Braden Jaska is still developing slowly, unfortunately. I thought he was going to be my catcher of the future, and he may not be. Let's see who in... oh, wow. Look at all these rookie ball guys who the game thinks are ready for High A. Yeah, I wonder if this coaching staff that I spent so much money on and so much time getting their coach cohesion just right. God, that takes hours. I wonder if that is paying off now. I really hope it is. I hope that's the reason that our development seems strong. Okay. Nobody from the Dominican is ready for A-ball yet. And then presumably some of these guys won't be allowed back in rookie ball. Oh, they all were. Okay. So it leaves you with quite the strange split here. 44 players, 34 players, that's fine. 53 and 6. Let's also check out FCL ratings here. Okay. All right, I'm going to have to probably bring in some guys from International to fill, from the complex to fill this up. So let me see. I'm just going to see if there are any 2-star overall players who can be moved down. What it's going to do is give me a whole bunch of errors at once. But that's okay. Just click through those. And whoever is able to go into that league can. And you just have to hit enter a whole bunch of times. Okay. So some of them did move back, it looks like. And then let's resort here. And then these gentlemen are ready for rookie ball. So that's what we'll base it off of. And we're going to do overall. Yeah, Manny Limo's already 2.5-star overall relative to the Florida complex, which is insane. Let's see who's ready for Dominican ball. I'm going to say anybody who's 2 stars can come on down and play in the Dominican. And that's going to be a lot of these guys. In fact, is that pretty much everybody? Yeah. Okay, so we'll get them all moved over. There sure are a lot of them. My scout's been busy. And put them in there. And now we're down to a more manageable international complex size. If we go back to sorting for Major League Baseball. We now don't have nearly as much talent in the Dominican, but that's okay. And I'm just going to resort all of these by potential, as I always do. And then from this point on, we can now start building a team. So I have to decide how many players do I want on each team. I'm going to want a few extra guys in AAA. So maybe like, I don't know. I like to run with like 35, 36 guys in AAA. And like maybe like 33, 34 in these leagues. And the FCL, you can get away with high 20s, but I still like to keep like 40 guys plus around there. And then we'll be making some cuts in the Dominican League because there's no reason to have more than about 30 to 33 players in there. February 1st, and a bit of an ominous player development update. 3 of our players are negatively affected. Zach Gallen seems to be continuing to lose a step. Now, one of the reasons I agreed to pick him up was he was a starter last year, and at least for part of the year, and he pitched fine, actually. I'd have been totally cool with that performance from him. But he's lost some velo, which is very bad. Even worse, Emmanuel Classe losing some velo. This might be the time to trade him at the deadline. It's going to depend a lot on if I have anybody who can take his place. If I don't have anybody who can just step up and be an Emmanuel Classe or close to it, then I'm going to hold on to him, and I'm just going to eat that free agency, let him go. Otherwise, if I do have somebody who can take over for him, then we're going to get some excellent value for him at the deadline. If we see relievers like him going for $20 to $30 million per year, then we should be able to get something for him. And then Lars Nootbaar also losing a step here. What happened? He's lost some power. So we're going to be looking to move on from Lars Nootbaar unless he bounces back, which I have seen before. So hopefully that happens. February 17th, and spring training begins today. I had just enough room for all of the prospects that I care about who are at least somewhat developed to come on up for spring training, including a couple high A pitchers. So let's play this first game against LA and then get the results of the development lab. Okay. So Merrick Houston, plate discipline successful. Very nice to see. Jackson Holiday with an outstanding improvement in gap power. Ooh, his ratings are looking a little not Jackson Holiday-ish, so we're gonna have to hope he jumps back up there. Good, Mason Wynn finally completed a program. Apparently his BABIP got just a little bit better, but it's not reflecting on his page. Troy Taylor increases his movement. Grayson Rodriguez successful at movement. Shane Smith successful with movement. This is all very nice. Nothing for Jose Ferrer, Henry Davis. Ben Brown improved his curveball. Okay, good to see. Nothing for Skubal. Ooh, a hard program. Quality of contact for Easton Carmichael. Outstanding improvement. And yeah, it doesn't look like much, but this is hopefully going to be a acceptable Major League bat soon. Reese Hines had a bump in Avoid K. That's not really showing up as a 35 yet. If he gets to 35, we might give him a shot in the majors. See if he can knock some home runs. Nothing for Chris Arroyo. Antonio Jimenez, gap power, good. Nothing for my number one prospect. Well, Gage Wood is my number one prospect, but Angelo Zavala is my most recent number one draft pick. And I guess he is my number one prospect because he's number 17 now, and Gage Wood's like 30 or something. Nothing for Braden Jaska or Tracer Lopez. Prospect Jacob Brooks, he completed his program successfully with control, and so did prospect Jason Tim. So a really good development lab. I'm loving all those positive results. And I think we have room for a short program. Let me see if there's time for that. There is time for a short program. So what we'll do is we'll take all of the batters, anybody we want to increase their base stealing or base running, or anybody we want to take a crack at improving their defense. We'll have 20 chances to increase their defense or their base running, basically. Well, we have not gotten out of spring training unscathed. Poor Cam Canarella, who missed a ton of time last year with a broken elbow, has now broken his ankle. A couple quick pieces of business before we start the regular season. We're going to go ahead and trade Cody Clemens. You know, looking back, he's come through for us at some very important times when we've needed him, but really he's a very average player, and I would either have to waive and DFA him or trade him, and he's making almost $3 million, so I did try to shop him, and nobody's interested in him at close to $3 million. So I went ahead and retained it all, shopped him, and came up with Edis Leonard, who's a minor leaguer. I wouldn't have to pay him any money. And he's not a bad personality, so I can't really do anything interesting with him. Maybe I'll be able to trade him. Who knows? But I will be picking up right field kind of backup potential guy, maybe a starter one day, Aiden Smith. And he hasn't had great results so far in AAA, but yeah, it looks like he's got some pretty solid ratings. And then a pretty decent little infield prospect, Adrian Santana, also has that bad personality, and who knows if he develops right, he'll be a major leaguer. So let's go ahead and complete that trade. And then the other thing was I had to waive in DFA Zach Geloff to get him off of the roster. And unfortunately, he was picked up immediately by the Colorado Rockies. Which, I mean, that does save us some money, so that's fine. And we will be bringing in, Casey Schmidt. And we'll be quite happy to have him available in the infield again this year. The AI suggested that we put Zach Gallen back into a starter role, which I found was kind of interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a try and let Jonah Tong work his magic in relief up in setup. And that's a good place for him too. So he'll be able to kind of show what he's made of up there. And then we might move him into the rotation later. We might also move back Ricky Tiedemann or, it looks like Porter Hodge is not holding on to his 35 stamina. So probably not Porter Hodge ever. But yeah, we'll give Gallen a try. So it'll be Webb, Skubal, Rodriguez, Ben Brown, and Zach Gallen. And since the lineup has changed a little bit, let's go over that real quick. Against righties, it's going to be Jackson Holiday leading off with his nice on-base skills and his stealing ability. Mason Wynn, he can get runners over to third base quite well. Tristan Casas, good choice to hit third, I think. He's got a fair amount of power, draws a lot of walks. Kyle Tucker, a lot of power, draws a lot of walks. Then Brenton Doyle hitting fifth. Henry Davis sixth. And then still a lot of power in the back of the lineup and a lot of contact with Lars Nootbaar, Isak Paredes, and Manny Machado. Against lefties, it's going to look mostly the same. Brenton Doyle and Tyle Cucker and Brenton Doyle are going to switch places in fourth and fifth. And then Isak and Lars are going to switch seventh and eighth. And those will be our lineups. And quick owner check-in. Looks like we're doing pretty well meeting his goals. We're definitely not going to extend Clase. There's no way in the world we can afford it. He wants us to win the World Series by next year. That's a very random occurrence. Who knows if that'll happen. But we are putting ourselves in a good position to do it. Acquiring a power hitter, Isak Paredes. He's probably going to qualify for that. Building up our farm team. We're back up to sixth place in the farm systems, so that's quite good. We haven't had time to improve our draft record, and building a championship team by 2020 or by 2033 is a more than realistic goal. If we go back to the front office, we do have just a little tiny bit more money to work with this season. Next year might get a little tricky, but lowering our ticket prices has paid off. We've sold about 1,500 more season tickets. And our attendance per game projection is way up, as is our revenue per game. So let's hope it plays out like that. And the game has updated its preseason predictions. It has us winning only 89 games this year, which is a little worrying. I'm not sure where that number is coming from. I checked before, and it had us winning like 93 or something. As far as top pitchers, it's not showing any of our pitchers performing well this year. Nor our hitters, so that's interesting. We're playing our opener against the Cubs, who are expected to win about 85 games this year. And to be honest, when I look at their team, it does not look that solid. They've got a few good players, but our pitching blows theirs away. We are better, I think, in literally every position. So if the Cubs do better than us this year, then this game has absolutely cursed us. Ellie De La Cruz, looking to be a 50-40 player this year, possibly. And in the American League, it wants Aaron Judge to hit about 49 home runs. That sounds about right. And as we play opening day, it is going to be Logan Webb facing down Palante from the Cubs. Let's see if we can win the opener. And we do, 5-4 in 11 innings at home. We'll find out who the hero was, and it was Lars Nootbaar with a run-scoring single. Very nice. Brenton Doyle got himself a triple in there. Webb went 5 2/3, 2 runs, 1 earned, 6 Ks, 2 walks. A very nice performance. And we had 5 relievers getting in on the game, 6 pitchers total. And looks like they did a fantastic job, except for Rare, who seems to like to blow games. It is now April 12th. We are 7-2 in our latest game. We shut out St. Louis 5-0 in St. Louis. Draft class revealed, and there are some monsters in here. A ton of very high potential players. Unfortunately, as you see, a lot of them say unknown, and I don't know a lot about their personalities yet. From what I do know, there are not a lot of great picks for us. Like John Briggs he's good, he's fine, but past him, not a lot of super high quality players with bad personalities this year. There are some absolute monsters in here in general, though. Look at this shortstop prospect. I mean, he's fast. He's extremely rangy. At only 18 years old, he's quite developed. Yeah, I mean, this guy is going to be a massive problem. Let's see. Let's take a little random sample here. Yeah, a guy with some great hitting and good fielding. Let's check out a couple of catchers. He's okay. Chad Houston is okay. The catchers don't tend to come in with great defense, but that can be developed. And check out a couple starting pitchers. Yeah, guys like this. Like, my gosh, what a pick that would be. And he might not even be the best player available in the draft. So it's going to be a pretty wild draft this year. So I am really hoping, though, for some bad personalities, because otherwise we're in trouble. Check out this starter, Carlos Moya. He's major league ready, and he's going to be a monster. Cool stuff. Only April 12th, and already our first significant injury of the year. Kyle Tucker strained oblique for 6 weeks. Let's hope this isn't another injury season. The call-up for Kyle Tucker would have been Cam Cannarella, but he's hurt, so it's going to have to be Griffin Burkholder. He's going to play backup outfield. Hopefully he'll get a few at-bats. And backup Reese Hines is going to fill in. He's got acceptable right field ratings, so hopefully he doesn't strike out too much and sink the offense. April 30th now, and we've got a bit of a good news, bad news, good news kind of situation. Good news, we won 8 games in a row. We're now sitting at 18-8. We're absolutely killing it. Bad news, Brenton Doyle's hurt only for 5 days, so I think since it's such a minor injury, I think we're going to go ahead and leave him up in the majors, not bring up anybody to replace him. Because if he goes on the IL, I've got to put him on there for 10 days, and I don't really want to do that. But good news, Gage Wood has almost finished his rehab assignment in the minors after coming off of his torn UCL that had him out for like over a year. And he will be back. He will make his next start in the majors probably in a week or two. And I'm not sure who I'm going to bring down to support that. I was going to bring down Troy Taylor, but he's out of option years. So I'm going to have a look around and see who the smartest guy to temporarily demote is going to be. But I don't want to pull anybody right now because everybody's pitching well except Troy Taylor, of course. And then Emmanuel Clase is struggling slightly as a closer. And Logan Webb's getting beat up, but I don't expect that to last. So we will make those decisions next time. We're going to tackle May and June, play at least up to the All-Star break and through the player draft. We'll find out more about those guys pretty soon, about their bad personalities, if there are any. And I hope you join me for that. And so long, and take care until then.